So the regime is taking a pounding. The skies over Tehran now essentially are undefended, which means that U.S. and Israeli bombers have been able to hit targets at will. The exploding oil tanks that you mentioned in the beginning are just one example of that. A veteran Iran operations person I spoke with last night said that in looking at the situation now in Iran, you need to focus on the seen and the unseen. The seen is the decision by the Iranian leadership to install basically the most hardline person possible as the new supreme leader. It's a direct rebuff to President Trump and his talk about, I'll pick the next leader. Well, they picked somebody who is so close to the IRGC that my source said he's basically woven into the fabric of the IRGC. So this is going to be a hardline war leader, and that's the decision they made, decided to announce it publicly, even though the risk that he's going to be killed now, as his father was, is significant. What's unseen? What's unseen is any sign of revolt, marches in the streets, defection from the ruling elite in any part of the country. There is no uprising in Tehran or in any of the other provinces. People were expecting you'd see that kind of fragmentation by now, given the intensity of the U.S. bombardment. It isn't happening, which means that somebody like President Trump almost has to talk about use of ground troops because there's no indigenous revolt that's underway. Personally, I think the idea of invading with ground troops is so unlikely because of memories of Iraq and just the difficulties, Joe, of this is a country much bigger than Iraq, much more difficult to invade, more mountainous. So I tend to put the threat of ground troop invasion aside. But there's a real problem here on both sides of a tightening, no exit scenario. Neither side is talking about ways out at the very moment that the world economy is really beginning to hurt because of the effects of the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and all the other war effects. We're heading toward, what, a week from now, I don't know whether we'll have peace, but we're going to have financial markets significantly tightened. Bombing these fuel depots and water desalination plants is intentional. We don't know yet who's doing the targeting. When you go after water desalination plants, you're going after the population.